Hi Leo, here is the in a nutshell astrological forecast for 2013, very brief, and you'll find a little bit more information on my website like the Mercury retrograde phases. But speaking of Mercury, it's going to be in Pisces for quite a long time in 2013, from February the 6th to April the 14th, and for some of that time it will be going retrograde, which tends to slow things down, but it will mean that your conversations, thoughts, correspondence, ideas, maybe some sort of creative ideas or digging and delving and strategies will be connected in with joint finances or property, anything you rely upon another to provide. So that can be in a material sense, so it can be possessions and so on, but it can also be in a moral sense as well, and it's a good time to plot and plan and scheme for the future, and but also to be very clear, you know, to kind of really think quite deeply about things. And in fact, sometimes your emotions will sort of influence your thinking, so just be aware of that. There's going to be 2 solar eclipses in 2 of the other fixed signs. Your sign is a fixed fire sign, well, it's the fixed fire sign, but the first solar eclipse is going to be in Taurus on May the 9th, and that's going to indicate a chance for new beginnings with your general life direction and your personal affairs, your professional affairs, anything career orientated, or it can mean, you know, with certain goals and targets that you've got lined up. So this is a neutral energy, and it just opens the door for making improvements in those areas there. If you were to take a step in the right direction on the day of the eclipse, or maybe just the day before the eclipse, then that eclipse energy will pulse through for another 6 months. And then the second solar eclipse is happening in the fixed water sign Scorpio on November the 3rd. And this one is about your roots, your foundations, your anything to do with property, family, relationships, anything to do with where you feel your place on the map, or where you feel anchored inside. And again, an indication of fresh beginnings there possible. Now, both Venus and Mars are going to be in very long transits, but it's hardly worth mentioning because neither of them are starting their transits until very late in the year, but I will just touch on it here and come back to it later. Venus is going into Capricorn on November the 5th, 2013, and will stay there until March the 6th, 2014, which is your area of work and also health. Venus tends to ease things wherever she goes, and at least you can strike up or bond more with somebody who is related to either the working environment or the health environment, or maybe it could be, it's such long transit, it could be a bit of both really. And then Mars is going into Libra, your communication sector, on December the 8th, and will stay there until July the 25th, 2014. So it's a very long transit, meaning that Mars will be dynamically activating your area of communications, media, education, anything to do with communications type equipment. And some of you will be maybe taking more time and trouble with your education, or putting out information or receiving information, and you know, putting more of an effort in there. But as I say, coming back to that later. Now, Jupiter has been in Gemini since June the 11th, 2012, and will leave on June the 25th, 2013, when it goes into Cancer, the sign before yours, until July the 16th, 2014, and then it will go into Leo, your own sign. So at the moment it's in a very friendly area, good for networking, good for anything to do with the internet. It underpins learning through a collective or sharing learning within a collective, and making friends, making acquaintances, and generally your life expanding through those who have certain interests in common. So it can be a working type social agenda or a personal social agenda, but both of them could be bulging at the seams. But definitely not what you know, but who you know will be pivotal to your progress. And actually this is a very progressive area here, and you could be moving towards a long cherished goal that you've been wanting to get to grips with for quite some time, but one reason or another you haven't been able to. And so this position of Jupiter up until mid-year is going to really help you with that. And then Jupiter going into Cancer will mean that your energies will turn inwards. There will be more going on behind the scenes for you. You developing yourself in sort of low-key, quiet, maybe spiritual ways, maybe artistic ways, and maybe having a look at baggage from the past and sort of putting your house in order a little bit there. Until Jupiter finally goes into your sign, and then that will be a major new beginning from July the 16th, 2014. Now Saturn has made a significant move for you Leos, because she's gone into the fixed water sign Scorpio, and that puts Saturn now into a very dynamic and rather hard angle to your sun sign. And that means that you've got to work a little bit harder at family relationships maybe, or because of family relationships you've got to work harder, or extended family or tribe it can be, but also it can mean that you've got to work harder within a property, or because of a property, or within a neighborhood. And you can tend to feel with Saturn a sort of a lack wherever Saturn is. So it might mean that you feel a lack of balance within family relationships, or within a neighborhood, or because of a property situation. And also it can get you emotionally a little bit as well. But the upside is that with perseverance and consistency, and not being put off by obstacles, and not losing your confidence, you can feel hugely satisfied, because you will slowly be building from the ground up and achieving things and getting things how you want them to be, and maturing very much in the process. And you Leos born 25th of July to 13th of August, or between 3 to 21 degrees of Leo rising, going to feel this vibration the most over 2013. Now Uranus is still in a very, very expansive area for you, Leo. Many of you early Leos would have felt your life sort of lifted up on a wave of this Uranian energy of change, and catapulted you into a new direction, and your life changing maybe in ways you never expected. That's been going on for about 3 years now. So certain realizations could be quite a revelation to you. You're still very much on a learning curve, going off on these new directions, but also maybe connecting more with the group dynamic, the collective mind, those with interests in common, and finding out that there are certain groups there, maybe niche groups, maybe like an elite group that you had not much idea about, or no idea about, and becoming a part of that. Somehow it's becoming a part of your life, and also a cherished dream or ambition coming to fruition. So this is a lovely transit for you. More travel likely, more getting into scenarios and places that you're not used to at all. Languages, fresh fields of intellectual interest also likely. And those of you born between the 25th of July and the August the 5th, or between 3 to 13 degrees of Leo rising, going to feel this energy the most over 2013. And for many years, Neptune's been making its influence felt in an area of partnerships or other close relationships, and blurring the boundaries there, bringing in uncertainty, sometimes illusion, self-delusion, deception, just a feeling of imbalance, really, and also more support needed, or more you needing more support, but also feeling a bit hard done by maybe at times. So however it panned out for you, that long transit of Neptune is now finished. It finished early in 2012, and it's now gone into a more materialistic area, which means you've got to be even more careful of the fogs and mists, the sea mists of Neptune, because this is an area to do with finances, particularly jointly held finances, or you rely on somebody else for, or they rely on you for, inheritances, properties, joint properties, however small or large they are, and it wouldn't be a good idea to leave things to chance. It wouldn't be a good idea to let things slide. It's more than likely to happen that way with Neptune around. So get a second opinion, get things, cut and dried, and on the dotted line, and you need to be crystal clear in this area. And you Leos born out until the 28th of July, or with up to 6 degrees rising, going to feel this vibration the most over 2013. The life-changing effect of Pluto has been working diligently away in your area of work and health for a very long time. Will be there until 2024, regenerating you from deep levels regarding the way you work, the reasons why you do that work, you wanting to get into something which is more maybe radical, you wanting more control over things, you wanting maybe more influence, or feeling influenced, feeling over-controlled, feeling manipulated. It can be working either way, to do with work or to do with health situations as well. So you just wanting to get more organized and managing things better in this area here, and without others riding roughshod over you, or you feeling that they are doing the same, you are doing the same to them, or abusing power, throwing your weight around. And another thing about this area here is making better use of your inborn talents, getting, applying, getting some training up, and getting skilled up, using your inborn talents better and applying them better, and maybe in a more lucrative kind of a way, developing them to a higher level. But also with health, one thing I will say about Pluto is it does regenerate us from deep levels. It's the death rebirth planet, so it can clear the decks of all the clutter and the clobber that we don't want anymore, and the baggage and the emotional roots to maybe health problems, and can help us then start to rise phoenix-like from the ashes of the old way and the old experiences. So you Leos born 29th of July to the 4th of August, all with between 7 to 12 degrees of Leo rising, going to feel this vibration the most over 2013. And that's it for the year. If you know your rising sign, it can help to listen to the forecast for that. And I wish you well over the festive season. I hope you have lots of fun and playfulness and relaxation and no stress over the festive season with the people you like to hang out with. And I will see you the next time.